Okay, hello and welcome to this month's mental health update for August. And I know I'm about 8 days late, um, but that is because, there's just been too much going on and I just haven't felt like doing it, to be honest with you. But, here I am. And we're going to talk about some of the issues I'm dealing with, obviously, that I'm continuing to deal with living here, unfortunately. I'm trying so hard to get out of here. All right, but everywhere I turn, I just keep getting the same problem, and we all know what that problem is. So let's first talk about, if you haven't watched the other mental health update, why I have to move. I have to get out of here. All right, and the neighborhood is in decline. We have illegals moving in. I mean, the signs are everywhere. You know, um, you know, people hanging around, drinking on the corner, throwing trash. You know, the trash is getting worse and way worse than it's ever been. The neglect, um, and the heat. It's very hot here. Um, as I explained to you in the other video, all my windows face this closed in courtyard. It's a small little courtyard. People think courtyard is big. No, this courtyard is maybe 10 feet across, if you're lucky. It's closed in on both sides, only open at the top. So all the heat just gets trapped in, and I can't open my windows even when it's a cool day. Really, the air conditioner is going constantly between basically May through October. The AC is just going constantly here because you can't get fresh air, you can't get cool air, and you know, as the climate has changed, it's getting worse. When I first moved here, it just didn't seem like it was that hot, but now, as the climate is changing, it seems like it's just getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and this area is just very urbanized, and urbanized areas heat up faster than non-urbanized areas do. Um, so you have that as well. You know, that day I did that rant video where I didn't get in front of the camera. I just, I came home and it smelled like somebody smoked a joint in my place. Thank God it hasn't happened again. But I mean, somebody was smoking marijuana, I think, in the courtyard or the little, I call it the alley, um, and maybe they were smoking it in the other building and blowing it out the window, and somehow it was getting pulled in through the air conditioner. Um, uh, you know, um, but it's a horrible smell. Marijuana is a horrible smell, right? Smells like it smells like you're boiling skunk urine or skunk musk or whatever. It smells like somebody's burning poop. That's what marijuana smells like. It's horrible. I don't want to live in a community where people smoke marijuana. All right, because guess what? I go to the communities on the South Shore. I don't smell it there. No, marijuana is popular in the hood. All right, that's where it's popular, and my neighborhood has become the hood. All right, it wasn't like that when I moved here. But Minneola as a whole has declined tremendously. With the empty stores, the homeless, and just general blight everywhere. I mean, one of the parking lots I walk through when I get off the train, there's no street lights in it. It's pitch black. Of course you don't feel safe when it's empty, devoid of life, and all you see are homeless people around, people staggering around like zombies, and illegals getting drunk. I mean, I dealt with the same thing in Westbury, but it's worse than Westbury in some ways because of, at least in Westbury, my apartment, I had a very nice apartment. I had plenty of cross ventilation. I didn't feel closed in. Here, it's even worse than closed. Yeah, I have better transportation than Westbury. Um, that's why I moved here, because of the transportation. Because Westbury, uh, even now, even though they've improved the train service, no Ronkonkoma train stop there. It's only the Huntington line, and bus service has been cut tremendously. So no, I wouldn't want to. Some people said, "Oh, you should just try to go back to Westbury." First of all, I can't. The apartment I lived in is somebody else living there now. So even if I wanted to go back there, I couldn't, and I don't want to go back there. Um, as I said before, this whole corridor between Jamaica all the way, just think of the main line all the way out, Jamaica all the way out to Hicksville. It's just going to be redlined. It's what's going on. It's whether, you know, the illegals coming in, and I'm going to call them illegals. I don't care. People call them migrants. No, they cross the border illegally. All right, and the president is just letting them in. That's what's going on. That's what it boils down to. All right, instead of having them turned away and deported when you cross the border into another country illegally, instead of having them be deported, no, he's calling them refugees. There's a legal process for that, and Biden, unfortunately, he is. I'm going to rant on him too because look, I hate Donald Trump, but Joe Biden is not really much better. He's worse in some ways, like especially with the immigration. I mean, he's just letting all these people come. You don't know what. Look, these people. I know there's the saying, "Give me your tar, give me your pork, give me your hungry," and there's a process for that. My great grandparents came here from Poland and had to go through a process, a legal process. These people are just coming in across the border without any legal process, and then they're being dumped in the communities where there's less of a certain demographic. So they're using the illegals against the people, the middle class communities, the diverse communities in the city. You've seen what's going on in Creedmoor, which is absolutely horrible. That they want to put, they keep cutting mental health funding, and now they're taking mental health facilities and turning them over to illegals. That's Governor Hochul, and that's Eric Adams for you. All right, and it's horrible. And so I see what's going on in my community. I know they're here. And I know the gangs are going to be next. I mean, I dealt with that in Westbury. I'm not against immigrants. I welcome immigrants who come here legally. But the illegals, they don't. The difference between an illegal immigrant and a legal immigrant is that an illegal immigrant comes, asks for all this free stuff, right? Because it's funny how people pick on me, but they come here and ask for all this free stuff, get hotel rooms and all this stuff. Not even U.S. citizens, and then they trash in the hotels. Wherever they move to, they trash. They generate trash. They throw trash everywhere. That's why trash here in Mineola. Whereas legal immigrants come here, they're educated, and they assimilate. They don't turn the community they moved into where they came from. All right, so I don't want to spend too much time on this subject. This is a mental health update. But just understand that I'm not happy about having these people in my community again. All right? They're not legal. They're illegal. All right? Look at the way they behave. Hanging out, drinking, dumping trash. You know what they bring. All right? Gangs, that's just around the corner. So, yeah, I got to get out of here. But at the same time, I'm still dealing with the discrimination. So I found 2 more apartments in Lynbrook. 2! It's been about 5 days. We haven't heard back. Once again. So, they hear, oh, you're in a program. Sorry, you're not allowed to live here. I mean, so because I'm in a program, because I'm a disabled U.S. citizen, I have to live with criminals and illegals. Yeah, that's what makes my blood boil. It really does. And there are people out there who think that's okay. Obviously, i.e. the snobs, because the snobs don't want people like me around. They think people like me don't deserve to live in nice communities. How am I supposed to get better? How's my mental health condition supposed to improve when you assholes won't let me live in a situation that's going to help me? And so that's why I'm going to have to fight. I may have to get a lawyer, and look, and I know people will say it could be worse, and there are way worse places than where I'm living now, and I know that. I've said that a million times. I'm grateful I'm not in a worse situation, right? There are places like Hempstead and Jamaica. I know, but this neighborhood is going to turn into that. It's changing. That's the point. It's changing. So while it might be, it's still a lot better than those places now, what about 5 years down the line? It could be just as bad as those places. Especially if we don't get rid of Joe Biden. I'm not voting for Joe Biden again. I hope Trump isn't running because I can't vote for Donald Trump either. We need. I'll pick any other Republican but Trump is going to get my vote. If it's Ron DeSantis, I'm going to vote for Ron DeSantis. Any Republican. But I'm still a registered Democrat. In the primary, I'm going to vote against Joe Biden. All right? That's why I'm a registered Democrat. That's why I tried that's why I voted for Tom Suozzi. You know, but yet all the sheeple Democrats in New York picked Hochul. Hochul is a disaster. All right? You know, I don't know what to say. You know, but I'm going to keep trying. I have to keep trying, and people are like, well, you're going to just have to shut up and go live in New Jersey. I decided I don't want to move to New Jersey. It's too hot there. It's hot enough here, all right? It's too hot. The transportation is much more sparse. Yeah, the more expensive areas of New Jersey have better transportation than Ocean County, but further from the Pine Barrens, that's too far. And then also, they're more expensive. And I got to go home and move to a whole nother state? I don't think so. I'm not going to be driven out. I'm fighting. Um, you know, at least the snobs lost today on Wall Street. And that's what we need. They've been winning a lot. And then the day they lost, that stock market needs to go down. All right? The rich need to lose a lot of money. The only reason why the housing prices are the way they are is because people can afford to pay them. Once people can't afford to pay them, then they have no choice but to lower them. All right? So it's all these rich people. They can afford to spend $3,000 a month on a single bedroom apartment. You know, my budget's like $2,000. All right? You know, so as far as where am I willing to live, you know, and I've said this before, obviously I'd prefer Rockville Centre or Lynbrook, but we all know that a certain demographic is hell-bent on keeping me out. We all know that already. Um, you know, I would I would consider Farmingdale again, but we got the same thing in Farmingdale where I was discriminated against. And I know you're not on the Babylon line there, but at least, you know, you do have the Ronkonkoma line. It's a nice town, and there are Pine Barrens that you can walk to from there, which is a plus that those other places in the South Shore don't have. I have to be able to get to the Pine Barrens no matter where I live. So people are like, oh, go look at the North Shore. I can't get to the Pine Barrens. I don't want to live on the North Shore. Um, I don't want to live on the North Shore. You know, I mean, Port Washington is nice, but you can't get to the Pine Barrens easily from there, and it's hot. It's just as hot as here. All right, the climate's only going to get warmer, right? And I can't take the heat. I'm having trouble with it. I'm having trouble with the heat here. I can't imagine going somewhere hot again. I can't. I can't. You know, so I don't want this update being too long. I mean, I don't have much more to say than what I've already said a million times already. Like I said, I'm grateful it's not worse, but you know something, um, things could get a lot worse, and they will, as long as, and I don't see anything changing with the government um, here. Man, I had a chance if Lee Zeldin got elected the governor. Certainly wouldn't be having all these illegals flooding in. But with Kathy Hochul, it's just more of the same. It's just Cuomo 2.0. Let all the illegals in. It's funny how they shut us down the pandemic and all that other stuff. That's the other thing I'll rant about here. They shut us down during the pandemic, and the pandemic those shutdowns were very hard on me emotionally, and I'm still getting over them. All right, I think they were completely unnecessary. All right, yet we have a government that's letting people cross the border that who knows what kind of diseases they have. All of a sudden, it's okay, right? It's okay. I mean, this is where these politicians on both sides. I'm disgusted with. There isn't really one party I like better than the other. I hate the Democrats and I hate the Republicans. I hate the Democrats because they're allowing all the illegals to come in. They're letting all the criminals out of jail. Uh, they are, especially here in New York, extremely corrupt. They really aren't a party of the poor, aren't a party of the working class like they used to be. They're looking out for the Wall Street people. And then on the Republican side, you got people that deny climate change. You have people that support big oil and gas and want to keep drilling for fossil fuels when we got this climate crisis going on. So it's hard to support either one. You know, it doesn't seem like there are many people out there in politics that care. There are only a handful out there that care. And unfortunately, here in New York, it doesn't seem like there are any, to be honest with you. Um, I think this country needs a new political party because both have just let us down tremendously. I mean, there are good Democrats out there, like Phil Murphy. Phil Murphy's fighting the congestion pricing. I mean, that's a man who cares about people. But I don't want to live in New Jersey. All right? And you have Republicans that I like as well, I know that Hogan was a former, I got his first name, former governor of Maryland I liked. Um, um, but at this point, as far as the president goes, I mean, I'll pick any of the Republican candidates except Trump against Biden. Biden is open borders Biden. He's Sleepy Joe. He's asleep at the wheel. Like I said, and he hasn't really done much for the environment either. So he's done a few things, but not enough. Um, you know, just letting all these illegals pour in. So, by the way, all these politicians, they don't care about, they don't care. They don't care. Look, I know it could be worse, but I know that I can't survive another summer here. I have to climb these stairs. It's so hot and coming here. It's so hot in here because I can't take the heat, and the stairs are hard to climb. It's like no railing. You saw the picture there. There's no railing at the top. I'm not getting any younger. No, Lord, one day I'm gonna just collapse from the heat climbing those stairs, going up here. It's very hot here. I explained it to you already in the last one. And so between now, we have time. Between now, I've got to find another place between now and next May. I have to be out of here by next May. I'm not going to New Jersey, and unfortunately, I have to be in Nassau County because that's the area my agency covers. They don't rent in Suffolk, I don't think. Even if I wanted to move to Suffolk. I'm trying to be a little more open-minded about where I'm willing to live, but there are only some places. I'm not going to move somewhere I deal with the same damn problems I'm dealing with here. Go to another part of Mineola, perhaps, but there's only a certain part of Mineola. If you got to go west of Mineola Boulevard, this whole Willis Avenue corridor is disgusting. You got to be along Old Country Road west of. I really don't want to be in Mineola. Mineola is just this is in the red line zone here. So I got to keep trying and keep looking and keep fighting. I have to. And as far as the snobs trying to keep me out, well, I have every legal right. The law of New York State says discrimination on basis of income is illegal. It's illegal. So it's going to come to a point where I'm going to get a lawyer and find out why these apartments that we're contacting aren't getting back to us. And if it's because I'm in a program, I'm going to sue them and take them. I'm not going to tell. I can be mad at my agency, but it's not completely their fault. All right, at least they're getting back to me. At least they just I just wish they'd advocate for me a little more. But if you're discriminating against me and you're going to try to stop me from getting an apartment where I need to live, then I will take your ass to court. All right, law-abiding citizen. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't have pets. I'm a good tenant. I just have a disability, and it's not right that you're trying to deny me a happier, better place for me to live, and I'm not going to stand for it. So, thank you for watching. Have a good night, and take care.